Hello there, my name is Tom Skralo and welcome to my YouTube channel where, as always, we talk all things trading, finances and money in general. And today's topic is going to be whether it's difficult to launch a successful business. And as always, please subscribe and like the video. All right, let's get right into this topic. So, is it really hard? Is it really that bloody difficult to open a business and make it successful? And I really want to break a few stereotypes. I don't want to be talking about, work hard and work for too many hours and you must be exhausted and that means that it's going to increase the success potential of your business. There is some truth to this and even me until this day I have so many projects that I'm going pretty much insane, but I like it. I enjoy this kind of therapy that I'm just going crazy and working 24/7. Is it absolutely necessary? It depends on how fast you want to do things. So if you want to do things like within a year or two, then probably yes. But if you are a laid back dude or a girl and you enjoy freedom in life and you want to work just 5-6 hours a day, that's fine. But just you have to understand that there isn't going to be a quantum leap and it just will take longer. So it's just up to your liking and up to your standards, because I'm just either working or not working. That's it. Let's begin by me explaining a very big difference between whether it's difficult to run and create a successful business and whether you're actually ready to do it. Because quite honestly, it's not about whether it's difficult. It's not really difficult if you're, as an individual, built for creating a business and running it. The question is, are you ready? And that's the thing, because when you're ready and when you know what you're doing, you have the right amount of desire, the right amount of connections, etc., it's extremely easy. And when you, all it takes again, some work and some pain in the ass, some wasted nerves, etc. But again, it's just part of life, so can't really call it difficult. But when you're just fresh out of college, you don't know how business happens, how it works, all this business world. You have no idea about the company financials. You don't know where to get financing for your genius idea. Then it's going to be extremely difficult. So, and this is something that let me know down in the comments if this resonates a little bit with you, if you're one of those aspiring entrepreneurs who wants to launch a business but finds it to be very difficult. And I don't want to be the one breaking it to you, but it's just from my personal experience. It probably means that you're not ready for it yet. It doesn't mean that you should stop and do nothing. Absolutely not. What I'm trying to say is that you need the most important piece, and that is experience. Even me, sure, I got lucky by perhaps meeting somebody who, and even then, I don't really believe in luck that very much. Luck is where opportunity meets talent and desire, and when there is an opportunity and you are ready for it, is it luck? I don't really know. I don't really believe in luck, quite honestly. Unless you won a lottery, then that's a bit different. So whenever you're fresh, you're new to the business world, to entrepreneurship, you always have to try as many things as you can. Even me, as I just said, I started with quite a few things, and you can watch some of my older videos where I discussed how I was making like $5,000 to $10,000 a month as a teenager, just flipping shit on Craigslist when I lived in New York. And it was a blast. It was an amazing time. I was buying and selling electronics, cars, furniture, whatever I could get my hands on. It was an amazing experience, and I still want to find some of the pictures from the olden days. I didn't have an iPhone back then, so all of these pictures are gone, but I'm pretty sure at some point I'm gonna find some of them, and I'll definitely make a video about it, some old me and new me, etc. So this is something that has always been contributing to my experience. So I did not start by building a bunch of companies in the production company, a trading education suddenly out of a blue, out of a nothing, and etc. So it all step by step led to one thing that led to another thing, and then depending on the level of your experience, level of your understanding of how life works, you actually see that, okay, the next project seems quite easy because you're ready for it. The same thing with trading education. If I would have launched this, the ThomasSkralo.com project, that is, quite a substantial project in my life at this time. If I would have launched it like, 5 years ago, I would have probably failed because it seems simple, trading education, some courses, information, creating the whole thing, not difficult. But believe me, I faced so many difficulties in the process. IT, marketing, design, web development. Shit, it was so frustrating, so complicated, so many new things that if I didn't have my previous experiences in trying new things and doing certain businesses and just being in the theme and just running and having this experience that life is actually difficult, I would have failed. Even at this project that became very successful, and sure, it took a lot of work, but I wouldn't say that it was extremely difficult for me to do, but only because I had experience. So unless you're the son of the Donald Trump or you're the Trump Jr. or you've been born rich and you have somebody to ask questions, because me, I'm one of those people, I never had anybody to ask questions. Because I was raised by a single mother, she saved up some money, she gave me that money to ship me off to United States, and we spent some time there as well. So we never had millions of dollars, and the worst part yet, it's not only about the money, I never had anybody to ask a question saying, listen, is this idea even a good idea to try? So I tried so many things in life, and I chose a completely wrong education path when it comes to the education that I selected, that I was studying in the college and subsequently in the university. Why? Because I didn't know anything better to do. I did not know which is the better education, which is worse education, which degree I should be getting, and how can I get a job. I was just doing things out of my overall belief in how a system works, which was formed by itself in my mind by watching the news. So it was quite bad, quite honestly. I made many mistakes in my life. And so was in the business. So when I was starting, I didn't have $1 million to start and a bunch of advisors of my rich father or something to advise me on how to do things. No, that's why I had to build it step by step. And I couldn't right away by having, $10,000 in my pocket, all the money into my name, to start suddenly a multi-million-dollar business. It's very rare, maybe unless you're some IT developer, you create an app or some kind of something in the world of pharmaceuticals or so high tech or etc. These things, again, don't get me wrong, that's possible. I'm not this IT genius. I'm barely using a MacBook. All right, not that bad, but pretty much, just an average level. So I'm an average Joe. I never had any special, super cool, like talents in terms of my intellectual talents, so to speak. I was always doing all I can to move in life and try to, take my family to a new level. So, and that's why out of all this experience, out of me doing all these things for pretty much like 10 years now, even more than 10 years, when I started like 11 years already. So it's been a long path of me getting here, and that my net worth is still not like $100 million. It's, still in single digits, but still a few million, and it took me fucking 11 years to get here. So that's why I decided to make this video, to break a few stereotypes that even me, so many people, always cheer me and send me so many messages and, support me, and thank you all very much for that. Honestly, it helps me tremendously, pulls me out of some depression sometimes, because even I get depressed from time to time. And that's the reason why I decided to make this video, that it ain't very simple. So when you get the idea how it all works, you start to accelerate quicker and quicker. Again, it takes years of time. Then you get a little bit of money, and then you invest it somewhere stupidly, and then again, hopefully you don't lose all of it. Then you come up with a better idea, you save up some more money, and it's just a constant process, and then you become what's really called self-made. So this is the video for those who are self-made, who want to be self-made, and who are doing things for themselves. And one of the things I could, suggest my own self, if I would suddenly see myself, like 11 years ago, I would probably tell myself, read more of news stories, watch interviews of smart people, investors, bankers, fintechers, etc. So read in between the lines, what I do today. And I've never been a big reader, and because there are so many great tips out there just in general about business, life, etc. Okay, maybe they're not any tips on how to make money fast on the internet and do it in a legal and understandable way. All of that information, usually, if it's even available, it's going to be paid information, but you can still get a good idea of how to steer your life in the right direction. Because even that, I didn't even know that I can go on YouTube. I don't know, I think YouTube was still in the making back then. Or maybe, find some news stories or dig deeper and, communicate with other people. My view was very wrong because I didn't have anybody to ask. And you guys, especially younger people, and especially right now, the resources are limitless. You can watch the interviews with Warren Buffett, or I don't know, hundreds of these interviews, if not thousands, available online, and get a pretty good idea how Warren Buffett thinks. So it's the best if you can actually go to Warren Buffett and speak with him privately. That would be just fucking amazing, as long as he's gonna be open for a discussion, of course. But not everybody can do it. And for even I cannot just walk into Warren Buffett's office and say, hey, my name is Thomas Kralo, he's gonna be Kralo, fuck what? So I'm not afraid and ashamed to admit that, he's not gonna even talk with me. But what I can do is go online and watch interviews of Warren Buffett and try to understand not just what he's saying, because everybody can be bullshitting here and there, but how he talks, how he says certain things, and build that view of his own view to life and business. So, and in that way, you're gonna develop much faster. So this is a free way how you can invest in yourself, and that's gonna increase your potential and increase that experience, so to speak. And when you combine it with actually going out and trying things and making friends and getting into different ventures and businesses and stuff, small ones at the beginning, nobody's gonna take you suddenly into a multi-million-dollar project. Small things, try things, and then you will see that the opportunities will be presenting themselves, and not because they suddenly appear in your life, because you're gonna be smart enough to see them, and you're gonna be open to see those opportunities. So yeah, that's pretty much it, what I wanted to share in this video. I really hope that it's helpful, and I'm trying to share as much as I can on YouTube about all different aspects of life and what I'm doing and how I'm going for the goal of $1 billion. If you haven't watched the series of 3 videos on my $1 billion plan, just a few videos back, go back and do it. A strong, friendly suggestion. And yeah, thank you for watching, as always. Peace and love, Thomas Kralo. I'll see you all in the next videos.